we said before that, I don't know, people that advocate so much, or it's not even to advocate. They do advocate, but it's not even just about that. See, leftists felt emboldened over the last year and some change, specifically after the George Floyd situation. But it's been going on longer than that. They infiltrated successfully, to their credit, a lot of different avenues. And now they are trying to ostracize, get people off of platforms, all of that in the event that they disagree with them. It doesn't matter how wrong or just the actual action is. They don't care. It's about silencing and not having to see or compete with people they feel they are ideologically opposed to. So in the case of like these more bigger tech companies that we all utilize, it's okay when they remove people that they consider right wing. They will not lose sleep, no matter how unjust it is. If YouTube, Twitter, Facebook up and bans everybody that's not a leftist, they would absolutely praise that. And you hear these guys, oh, well, it's my private company. Yeah, the people that have always demonized private property rights, advocate to the contrary. And they always attempt to appeal to libertarian principles when they think it benefits them, though. To be fair, in the cases of a lot of these, because they're stupid enough and they don't understand, it's the case of a lot of these big tech companies. They get a lot of contracts. I know Amazon, for example, has made a lot of money from governments around the world, hosting them on the cloud. Actually, AWS wasn't even profitable up until that point. And the contracts, we've talked about many times that kind of people look at only subsidies and like loans and direct grants. Those aren't always the thing. It's the taxpayers subsidizing general contracts of things that government wants to happen that a lot of these big corporate entities get. You see these guys tune change up a lot if they could not take money from taxpayer money. So that would be in the form of even something like with government, anything government related, doesn't matter. Here's a hilarious story of this that was someone documented here. There's some guy who is part of some leftist, I believe out of the UK, some leftist publication. And this is in June of 2020, so last year. This is what he says. And this is, of course, this is the time in which you had a lot of people being removed from these websites. And this is what Gary, that's his name, that's what it says, it's not censorship when a private company decides to remove you from its platform. You don't have an inalienable right to Twitter. I want to say this. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I'm not a hypocrite on this situation. This is why you've never heard me refer to what these guys do or what these companies do and like advocated that the government get involved. No, it's precisely the opposite. I want them to get out of the fucking way. So that's what he says. Okay, that's rich, and I would agree with you. Let's see how the story develops. Novara Media has been shut down, and though, to be fair, it is back up now, but let's just talk about it in a moment. There's this website called Novara. It's a sort of leftist news channel, again, I believe, or platform, I believe, out of the UK that was shut down without explanation. So Novara Media was shut down. Let's see what Gary had to say after that. Whether or not you agree with what we publish, it shouldn't be the whim of giant tech companies to delete us overnight with no explanation. Remember, this is the same guy that said this. So, in short, what happened, guys? Well, the shit landed on his doorstep. Okay? It's all good and it's all gravy, baby, when it ain't happening to you. And then it happens to you. And now all of a sudden, yeah, these big, giant private tech companies, they shouldn't be able to do that. And you shouldn't, that shouldn't be the case. Wait a minute. That wasn't that. You didn't have that energy being kept up last year. how the turntables, huh? It's funny how that works. Man, you see this all the time. But this is why I discussed, like, the particularly the left, definitely the guys that are on Twitter, in the way that I do. Because I know they're a bunch of raging fucking hypocrites with no integrity. Their set of ethics or morals or principles, if you can call them that, they're more so centered around limiting the reach of the enemy. That's it. So if that requires them to be hypocritical to what they said yesterday, they would do that. They would do that. They would, because it's not an actual principle. It's more, they don't like you. They want to eliminate you. So any event that something aids in that, they'll push for it. But when it doesn't, they won't. That's how it works. Let's just say this. It's like you saw that with there's a bunch of, I forget the name of that Twitter that posts a lot of these leftists who will say something one way and then it just be a hypocrite. Trump and the vaccine is a big example of this. Oh, there ain't no way I'm taking that shit. And then it all of a sudden changes. Presidencies change and all of that. And then they thought they could set some ideological lines on who's getting the vaccine versus who's not. So now they feel like it's more of a pledge of allegiance. And it shows them that they're part of the cult and all of that. So they think that everybody not taking it as some MAGA hat wearing Trump supporter, which, again, that doesn't make sense considering that energy that they had before when it was the opposite. Oh, I'm not taking a Trump vaccine. It's the same thing. These guys don't have true principles. If there is to be one, it's just they just don't like you. In the event they could get you eliminated, I say they want you dead all the time. In the event they can get you eliminated, they will aid in that effort. But when it comes for them, the same exact thing that was utilized to silence you, when it comes for them, they're like, oh, wait a minute, you can't do that. It wasn't supposed to be this way. You shouldn't take these clowns seriously. Just make fun of them. It's what I do. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.